Okay, here's a middle of the night video for you. This is what suicide is. This is it. It's 5:20 in the morning. I've been laying back there awake for at least a couple hours, and I've already cried twice. This is what suicide leaves right here. It leaves somebody annihilated, and I can't speak for all suicides. It wasn't my brother, it wasn't my sister, it wasn't my mom, it wasn't my friend. It was my child. My child. That ultimately I'm responsible for. When push comes to shove, I was his mom. And I still am his mom. And suicide is sleeping for days because you can't face the reality. Suicide is every time you're awake. You take another handful of Xanax so you can sleep through a little bit more of it. Suicide is being awake for days because you're manic, because you just can't fathom this has fucking happened. You didn't see this shit coming from nowhere. Suicide is not brushing your hair for a month to where you end up standing in your bathroom and just taking a pair of scissors and cutting it off because you cannot get the knots out of it anymore. Suicide is not taking a shower for a month and a half because you don't fucking care. You don't care. Everybody's situation's different. A lot of people had younger kids still at home, so they had to get up. They had to get those kids ready for school. They had to take them to baseball practice. Logan was my youngest child. And he was my challenging child. He was my manic wind of chaos that every day there was a Logan issue. There was always some fucking Logan issue to deal with. Always. He'd do something so he'd get fucking manic and over something stupid with the police that he really wasn't going to get in no trouble. He was an overzealous prosecutor, and it was stupid. And, and then he gets freaked out and thinks he's going to go to prison over something, and steals my car and prescriptions and credit cards, everything in the damn house he thinks he can sell because he don't know where the fuck he's gonna get money from. And as soon as I fall asleep, he loads it all up in the damn car, takes off. Well, one star, as soon as I wake up, one star has him 3.5 hours away, and the prosecutors there, he was obviously crazy manic, batshit crazy manic, crazy. Like, when I talked to the police hours and hours and hours and hours later, they said, ma'am, he's still here. We can't even transfer him to the detention facility an hour away because we don't feel like we can transfer him safely. He's flipping out. You know, my child, find out later, is laying out in the middle of Interstate 64 screaming, shoot me, just shoot me. Well, on Monday, that was on Saturday, on Monday, the judge saw him. He's getting charged with, 1,078 felonies. But it's just like stealing my shit, like vehicle theft, credit card theft, shit, shit. My shit. There's, the kid was crazy. Everything got recovered. Well, that, once again, overzealous prosecution. I could understand in the beginning, they charged him with 6,000 felonies, yeah. Well, 2 days later, they let me pick him up because as soon as the judge sees him, she's like, ma'am, he needs mental health. I'm like, yes, I know. So I picked him up and I took him to the hospital at Poplar Springs, and he was there for 4 months. And he got discharged on December 18th and wrote his suicide note and shot himself on the 21st of December. And during those 4 months, that prosecution in that county knew my child was crazy. They knew that he was doing what he was doing in the middle of a fucking manic episode. And, when they can't even transport him safely, when they've got guns pulled out on him and he's in the middle of the interstate screaming, shoot me, just shoot me. Don't you think that? So our county here had some common sense at least. And they were like, well, this is where he stole everything from. So let's just transfer all the charges here. Fuck, our prosecutor was just going to drop all the charges and whatever it's called, defer prosecution or something for 12 months and on one charge and then drop it. Because it's obviously he was unstable, and that prosecutor up there wouldn't drop this shit. And really, this is a child who, I understand he was 16, but this was a sick child. And this is the little boy who was 6 years old, who was getting tripped every day on the bus so that the 50 other kids on the bus could laugh at him. How many days in a row can that happen? How many times can he get stabbed by a pencil and bit and kicked to where he has bruises at 5 and 6 and 7 years old? And nobody at the school gives a shit. Nobody cared. Nobody. Because the other little boy's really poor and we should feel bad for him. Well, I did feel bad for the kid. He was dirt fucking poor, but and it's not the kid's fault. The kid was only a year or two older than Logan. He was a lot larger than Logan, but he was only a year or two older than Logan. He didn't know any fucking better. That's why kids aren't in charge. The adults are in charge because they're supposed to know better. And, Logan had all this just piled up on top of him. Brady was going to go to jail. He's 16. He's like, Mom, these are all felonies. They're going to charge me as an adult. And there was no victim. It was us. It was my fucking shit. You know, I got it back. Y'all stopped him. I put him in the mental hospital for 4 fucking months because he was nuts. How much blood did they want from my child? Because however much they wanted, that's what they got. You know, they got the side of his head blown out in the same fucking vehicle he stole. That's what they got. So now they have his mother, who over 2 years later is still having nightmares. You know, they wanted to charge him with a crime. Well, whatever prosecutor in Rockbridge County thought that was a good idea. How was your Christmas in 2015? Because I left my child after donating his organs on Christmas Eve. And my child spent Christmas in the morgue. And I buried my child on New Year's Eve that year. So how was your New Year's Eve? You sure you needed to prosecute a mentally ill child that was in the middle of a manic fugue? You sure you needed to do that? Who had done nothing but take my shit and leave. Because he was scared and he was manic and he was freaking out. You sure you needed to... That was your harm to society. He wasn't a brat. He wasn't a mama's boy. Well, he was, but... he was sick. He was sick. You know, people don't go and blow the side of their fucking head out because they're brats or they're mama's boys. It's looking for attention. They do that because they're paid. They've been paid. You know, how many times can you be knocked down in your life over and over and over? From the time you're little, before you're broken, there's nothing left. And the people that are responsible to protect you have not done that. You know, I should have never walked in that school and been polite to the principal, Donald Clay. The second I saw that my child was not a priority for him, I should have went down there and, and just been the cunt of the century, you know. An attorney I know offered to go down there with us one time. And he said, that'll probably... help. And I was like, no, let's don't, hell yeah, I should have took him up on that. You bet your ass I should have took him up on that, because when, ultimately it was up to me to look out for him. And other than a few times I did get mad and throw fit, I smiled and was polite and expected people to do the same, and they didn't. He's dead. He's dead and rotting away in the ground in a casket in my backyard. And you don't lose a minute's sleep. Well, I do.